I made a decision when I was like 10 years old to not be one of those adults that keeps equivocating, keeps like laboring on ideas and thoughts. And I just sat and said, what would my little 10-year-old girl do? Like, what would I say to the adults that are acting stupid? And I said, I'm just going to follow my gut and do it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third episode of B3 LeadHers. Now, we first kicked off in March, and that was during Women's History Month as a celebration for bold, brilliant women who are shaping marketing, entrepreneurialism, AI, tech, and analytics. But the LeadHers podcast goes beyond the highlight reels to really dive deep into the pivotal decisions, lessons learned, and the cheat codes that have propelled top female leaders forward. I am thrilled to be your host, Barika Phillips Bell, one of the three co-founders of B3 Media Solutions. And today we are continuing our LeadHers journey with an incredible guest and my friend, Kimberly Nwamanna. Now, Kimberly has had a very extensive background in HR, working with different companies from employers group to hire runner to having her own HR company. And now she has evolved into a woman entrepreneurial force in the world of tea, running her own company full of herbs. I would love to introduce you to Kimberly Nwamanna.
Thank you, Barika. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Thank you so much for joining me. I wanted this month to really be around the entrepreneurial spirit that women have. And when I looked at the different women who I admire and kind of like are out doing their own thing and reinventing who they are and just living and going forward with their passion, you were my first choice, which is why I really had to have you on the show. So please tell the audience more about you, what you do, and your passion.
Yes. So I do have a wellness tea business, and I really love being there to support everyone's own healing journey. And so that just started from learning more about how to help my children and my family, my husband, in any type of illness or issue that they had, which then just my friends and families heard about it and they wanted to know what I was doing. Then my friends and family encouraging me to just start it as a business. Finally, one day I listened. So it's very interesting for me because I did find out that my grandmother was what we would call today a healer, both of my grandparents. And my father, he gardens. He's always all about what's natural. So it just, and my mom. And so I think all the people around me growing up, we never really ran to pills. We never ran to the doctor. We always found solutions in us and around us. And today we put that in a box and we have names for it. We have, like, we call them healers or we herbalists. But back when I was growing up, it was just natural. It's like what you did as a community, as a family. And I'm taking that right now into the mainstream.
Well, I love it. I as a purveyor of your teas, I am definitely excited about the fact that there's just been this like overall like going back to nature and allowing food to be what heals you or teas and different natural herbs. So I love the way that you've kind of like turned that into a business. And the first question that we always ask on this show is one decision that changed everything for you. Now, that could be the moment where you took a risk, where you made a pivot, or for you in your career, something that you had a breakthrough that helped shape where you are today. If you could think about that moment, what would that be?
That would be the people around me that love me, that were finally like, look, do it. And I made a decision when I was like 10 years old to not be one of those adults that keeps equivocating, keeps like laboring on ideas and thoughts. And I just sat and said, what would my little 10-year-old girl do? Like, what would I say to the adults that are acting stupid? And I said, I'm just going to follow my gut and do it and face my fears and face all of the challenges that I made up in my head and put my feet on the ground and move forward one step at a time. I just made a psychological decision and I let my body follow afterwards. It was painful. It was a lot of trepidation. It was just so much turmoil, but I had to always tell myself, Kimberly, at 12:31 and 31 seconds, right now, I am okay. Actually, the world is great in this actual moment. Nothing harmful is happening to me. Nothing is going on. And so that helped ground me, being what they call in the moment. But in the moment always felt so distant. I had to, realize it in actual, like, tangible, um, tangible kind of way for me. And because I've always been comfortable with going through hard times and trying to make my way out of it. But when things are going well, I sometimes will just like wane and not really move forward. So I had to just, like they say, buckle up, pull myself together. And that was the one thing, remembering my 10-year-old self when I had all the dreams and aspirations and looking out into the world and seeing why are adults acting so silly and they have everything. And putting myself in that place and moving forward with the encouragement of friends and family in my ear on replay. That was the defining moment for me.
That was the impetus. I love that you saw your 10-year-old self. Like, I think that is kind of like for a lot of people, like either some event has to happen, usually like you got laid off or, you lost your job or whatever have you. But the fact that you like were able to look back to your 10-year-old self to like motivate you to do something that, one, you clearly had a passion and a talent for, but also the fact that you did have supportive people in your background that were supporting you and telling you to move forward. And I'm glad you did, because I think that you have something that is definitely the mainstream will one day find out more about, because your teas are healing. They are life. So I love that. So now I kind of want to flip the script and think about if you could go back and do something differently, whether it was a decision that you made, a leadership approach, or even just a project. What is something that you would not do again?
I would definitely not wait. Because I, from a corporate background, there's so much that has to be perfect, especially as a woman of color. There is a lot of pressure to be perfect, to not make mistakes, to do all your homework and research, which could be endless, which is endless, actually. You could never stop researching. There's so much information out there. And so number one thing is I would never wait. I would just move forward with all the imperfections in my head, because once you are in the process of building a business, there's so many external factors that will enlighten you and inform you on which way you need to go. What occurred in society, in the community when I first started, and the needs of my customers and my clients are a little different. They morph a little bit, they change, or they're not even relevant today. So you always have to not only just be present and understand, but just, I hate to say it, sound like Nike, but just actually do the work and not wait for perfection because something's always going to change. I'm going through a rebranding right now. And I look at my first packaging, which I remember loving so much and spending like 2 years thinking about it. And it has changed. And now that I have my new packaging, which is going to launch in a week or two, I already see ways in which it can evolve again. So I think that I don't know if you all know Gary V. I've heard him say this. I love it, which is it's not or, it's and.
Yeah.
Today, this is my packaging, and tomorrow it can be different. But don't worry about an or. I say go out there, do it with all of its imperfections. The market will tell you a whole lot more than the pressures of external factors, than what's going on in your mind, especially for me coming from that corporate background, and all of those pressures really wasted for me a lot of years in this business.
I love that you said move forward. Like I think that's like a recurring mantra, because as women, we tend to wait. We tend to want everything to be perfect. And especially I think as women of color, because we came from the background of you have to be 10 times better. You have to do all of these things. Like I just remember all of that training, and that makes us wait. And so we don't do the thing that we have a passion for. We want to wait till, the kids grow up, or we want to wait till whatever, whatever the situation is. And I love that you are giving that advice, because yes, there's so many things that could be born out of us that we have in ourselves, and our passions that can help someone, that could change someone's life. And I absolutely appreciate that sentiment.
Yeah.
So this is one of another segment. It's called LeadHers Cheat Codes. And this is where I have my guests drop 3 actionable insights that other professionals can take away right now and apply to their careers or apply to their life. I like to think of them as shortcuts to success. And these are just tried and true strategies that have worked for you. So if you could try to think of 3 cheat codes that could be related to anything, whether it's your business or your career, what would they be?
First and foremost, AI.
Oh, you want to get into that?
Don't be afraid. Just utilize AI. Right. I've spent years recruiting whole teams, and I love the technology. Don't be afraid of it. Don't stigmatize it. It is here, similar to the car when everybody thought a vehicle will take everybody's job. Like, it is here. It is here to stay. And today is the worst it will ever be. It continues to get better. So I would say 1, utilize the technology and tools that are around right now as support. I say number 1 cheat code today. I would say 2, people always talk about having a mentor. And today, mentorship is a whole lot different. It has a technological edge to it. And so I find some of my mentors are the books that I read, those authors. Like for me, I'm loving Dr. Layla of Africa right now. I mean, I've read his work for years, but I'm back to reading that. So some of your favorite books, those authors can be your mentors, as well as some of these social media personalities. I personally love Dr. Yaki Elohim, and I love him. He's a great mentor in my field, talking straight from facts, talking from a biochemist position. Even physicians came together and gave him an honorary doctorate, 1 honorary doctorate. I think he has maybe 2. And so for a lot of Black women in particular, but people of color, they find it hard to find mentors that'll help them along the way. And as like individual persons, and I say, Don't stop there. Look to your authors. Look to personalities that are out there that can be mentors, that have like a history for you. While you continue to search for mentors, that's a number two cheat code. And then I would say number three would be I talked about research, like research. I think today we're inundated with a lot of information, and that my generation, and particularly before, it was all about acquiring so much knowledge. And in my family, we have what people consider highly educated folks. It comes from my grandparents, my dad, highly educated folks. Well, today we have something so smart that we walk around with every day, a smartphone. I learned from I think it was Sadhguru, who said, today our smart comes from our phone, and that intellect is not the commodity today, it's creativity. And so I kind of see that it's like all about being very, very creative. Lean into that, because over researching and trying to acquire the knowledge yourself is starting to get really overrated, especially with AI and the AI model, with the technology in your phone. I say move forward with the technology and actualizing your dreams. Put it into reality. Now you can, like, whatever you think it may even be crazy in your mind, you can put it out in words, voice to text it, and an AI can create a visual of it, an image or a video. I say move forward, do that. I think those are my three cheat codes.
I was going to ask you how you incorporate AI into your business, because it is like an herbal tea business. And I was wondering if maybe you were you were using it not only for marketing and helping you kind of keep notes on things, but are you also using it to find different herbs or understand like how herbs like affect the body? Like, how do you utilize it in your business?
Right. And so at this point in AI, and I predict they're going to be way more useful than a physician would be. But at this point in AI, I use it to kind of gather all the information for me. And then I have to check the knowledge because it's not there yet.
Yeah.
There is an art to herbalism, and there's an experience that you have to have. So I've spent many years observing what different herbs will do to individuals. And one, like using nettles, has one reaction to my younger son versus my older son. Like, my younger son is great at antihistamine. It's a powerhouse for him as an anti-allergen. But for my older son, it is great as a nutritive base, a multivitamin. It doesn't really have the same effect for him in terms of allergies. It's great for his skin if he uses it. So I think it's really good to use as a base. Like, just remember those days when someone would come to you with all the research and the data and say, you asked for this, Kimberly, here it is. And then now you are the decision maker. So you take all of that, analyze it, and then make those decisions. So that's how I also use it for like my administrative work.
Yeah, of course.
Speed that up. But I also use it as a thought partner. And so I put in all of my information. I've trained it for the past like almost 2 years. It probably is 2 years right now. And so it understands my brand. It understands how my brand has evolved. So I can ask the evolution questions, which is great now. And so all of that's really helpful, especially with the rebranding, like sparking some of the ideas, inspiring me to really expand my own ideas. So that's how I use it.
I love that. I am so excited because this is my first, this is my favorite segment, and it's the B3 Leader Bowl. And in the B3 Leader Bowl, I give you a random question, and it's all sourced from just different questions that people have had around business, around leadership, things like that. And it's a surprise. So take your time if you need to think about it. All right, let's spin the leader wheel. Oh, okay. So you selected backstage at the boardroom, and backstage at the boardroom is a really fun question that I like to focus on, and it's a behind the scenes view of marketing leadership that most podcasts don't give. So, can you share one of the most intense meetings that you have ever been in? Whether it was you were presenting to the CEO, it was a high stakes campaign that you were doing, or if you were handling a crisis, and what you learned from that experience.
Oh my goodness, I have a lot of those, especially in my field in human resources. So I'm going to have to protect individuals' identity. But I was in a board meeting, and the CFO was very upset about uh, how everyone was communicating their financial updates. And he was very agitated by the entire matter. And he got so upset. And this is a very intense environment because it was quarter after quarter of revenue diminished revenues just going down. And the writing was on the wall. The organization was going to have to do probably layoffs or something like that, which they did eventually. And the the CFO was looking at one of the executives who, this is like during the time where people are ready to eat. People are coming and going in and out of the meeting because different meetings. Everything was agitating the CFO. Turned around and looked at one of the executives who was eating an egg and told them that they were being aggressive the way they were eating. That turned everybody's table. Like everybody was so upset because the CFO was a white female talking to a Black female. And we are in an environment where social justice is one of the values. And that was very intense. And HR is there, and everybody's like, what the heck? Like looking at me, like everybody's looking at me like, what the heck is happening here?
So, what did you learn from that?
I will tell you that, listen, I have learned that people reduce themselves to sometimes their most fearful sides of their own personality. And a lot of that comes out in such a negative way, but harms other individuals. And I have learned that in the world of business, sometimes you just have to create your own environment if those environments are so toxic. I have worked for so many years in very toxic environment around toxic individuals because it starts at the top. It starts with boards and it starts with the chief positions. And when the chief is so nice, but doesn't want to disrupt anybody, doesn't want to tell everybody how to be kind, because that's been my whole career in human resources profession, is just to tell people to be kind to themselves and to others. I spent most of my career helping organizations kind of heal from within. And I just decided and learned that you need to create your own healthful environment in order to thrive sometimes. And I'm seeing it. I'm loving that. The true activism to me is all of these micro organizations that start in the garage, that starts in the kitchen, that starts with a group of friends coming together. To me, that's real activism. And creating your own healthy environment, your own healthy ecosystem, to me is what the world really needs. And right now, what I've been doing is trying to help people. Like, I was supporting people, helping them heal within organizations. Now I'm doing it outside, supporting individual healing outside of organizations. I love it. That's what I've learned being in the many boardrooms, and something about those corporate environments, that structure, that colonial, patriarchal structure that is so broken in this country. And it may take all of us going to another country to fix it. I don't know, but it's just so broken right now.
Yeah.
Create your own.
Yeah. No, I think you are and have always been a healer, whether it was in corporate and now in your own life. It definitely is something that I feel strongly about, and I am thankful that you are my friend, and that you are out healing the world. That was just an awesome conversation. I just thank you so much, Kimberly, for sharing your insights, your leadership, and your journey with us, as well as all of your cheat codes. I know our audience is going to walk away feeling inspired and wanting to take action. And if they want to learn more about your business and try out some of your teas, can you just tell us where we can find you?
Yes, you can find me at fullofherbs.com. That's fullofherbs.com, and on all social platforms at Full of Herbs.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kimberly. And if you guys love this conversation, please make sure you subscribe to B3 LeadHers, where we drop new episodes once a month. And don't forget to leave us a comment, a challenge, or send us your questions. And who knows, your question might be the one pulled from the B3 leaderboard. Make sure you follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook at B3 Media Solutions, and on X at B3MS Inc. Please stay tuned for more inspiring stories from the top female minds in entrepreneurialism, marketing, tech, and analytics. Until next time, keep leading boldly.